Hi everyone! Spring's almost over, but we're ready to spring back into action with our second quarterly release. Grab your favorite snacks because we're going to show you the highlights from this update. So let's get to it.
We are pleased to launch Analytics Designer in SAP Analytics Cloud. Analytics Designer enables advanced scripting with a rich set of capabilities for professional designers of analytic applications for multiple business, planning, and predictive scenarios. With Analytics Designer, you can drive standardization of centrally governable analytics content, create reusable UI elements and application logic such as headers, footers, and toolbars, and extend applications via custom widgets and APIs. Stories and analytics applications share functionality and widgets, so business users experience the same look and feel at view time. If you want to see more details about Analytics Designer capabilities, check out our product plan in the description below.
When you create an allocation step, you can specify a booking account. If a booking account is set, all results calculated when executing the allocation step will be booked to that account instead of the original accounts.
Now, you can set data locks on a table from within a story.
Financial planning just got simpler, so if you have limited programming experience, don't worry. Visual formulas will allow you to design an advanced formula script via drag and drop.
Now, when working with forecast layouts, you can conveniently copy and paste facts from one restricted measure to another, including leaf members. Keep in mind that facts must be defined on the same set of dimensions, and copying must occur on the same granularity.
Sometimes less is more. After creating calculation columns in your tables, you're now able to hide the columns that the calculation was based on, while the calculation column remains visible.
Like the ability to link source models utilizing account formulas, you can now use the link function within advanced formulas to copy or read data from other models.
In tables, instead of showing on-booked data when you add a new member, you can now select just one existing unbooked member and make it visible when the context of the cell is defined. This allows you to enter data in areas where there is no data.
You can now submit data via mass data entry mode into PPC live models.
When creating a data action, you can now add cross-model copy actions that copies data from calculated accounts across models.
Uploaded BW data now respects the model structure. Now, the wrangling session will have inherited the modeling structure from the BW source. This includes dimensions, attributes, attribute data types, and hierarchies. Please note that you'll need SAP Analytics Cloud Agent version 1.0.223 or later.
You can now combine data using up to 3 composite join keys.
Import data connection to SAP Integrated Business Planning is now available.
Want to share your analysis for Office Excel files? You can now upload macro-enabled Excel files into files so it can be accessible by your SAP Analytics Cloud collaborators.
Administrators can now configure either SAP Analytics Cloud or SAP Analytics Hub as the default landing page.
It's time to get your spring cleaning started, and who doesn't like to be organized? Models can now be organized in folders. Existing models are migrated to the Models folder in public, and existing points of interest are migrated to the Points of Interest folder in public. Our sharing settings dialog makes it easier to see which users and teams have access to specific models.
The SAP Analytics Cloud iOS SDK now supports AirWatch SDK integrated authentication with certificates. Apps built using the SAP Analytics Cloud iOS SDK integrated with AirWatch SDK can now pull digital certificates from AirWatch for user authentications on live connections.
Get insights and dive deeper in your GeoMap analysis when you're on the go. You can now view and interact with GeoMaps on the SAP Analytics Cloud mobile app by exploring your ChloroPath and drill layers.
We have now simplified and created a more intuitive multi-screen configuration for the digital boardroom. You can now choose up to 3 screens for your boardroom. For single-lane presentations, the default will be full screen without preview. If this isn't preferred, you can always switch back to the single lane with preview.
For your predictive models, you can now select which variables from the input dataset that you want to add to the output dataset.
Story designers can now rename measures and dimensions in the story without having to access the models. The new descriptions will be local to the story and will not be reflected in the actual models. As well, the descriptions will persist when the widgets are copied to another page or story. When copied to another story where the same measure or dimension has been renamed, a notification will appear to let you select which description should be kept into the story.
Need to make some quick annotations? You can now add a drawing or text to a story or boardroom page in the mobile app. When you're done, share your screenshot with your colleagues.
In design time, story designers can now create input controls with more than 4,000 members where all the dimension members are accessible to the users via the backend search. In view time, story viewers now have access to dimension members beyond the 4,000 limit via backend search. As a viewer, you can select all the values that resulted from the search, given that the search result list has less than 4,000 members. The first 100 members are initially loaded, and then the next members will be loaded in the background as users scroll down the widget.
Story viewers now have ability to share their private bookmarks with other users, as long as the other users have story access. Story owners and story designers are now able to create global bookmarks that are available to everyone with story access. When sharing the story, you can choose a global default bookmark for the selected set of users. Global bookmarks can also be shared with individual users or teams.
Previously, when two datasets are linked together using one dimension and a story or page filter is created based on an unlinked dimension, indirect filtering occurs. We've enhanced the backend logic for processing indirect filters to overcome performance issues and data volume limitations.
Story designers can now create dynamic time input controls within pages or stories with ranges based on custom current date. This input control will appear in the story filter bar. The story viewer can see the specified current date on the page or story instead of using the browser's system date.
GeoLayers and CorelPath layers are supported with SAP BW for HANA. You can also create variants in the charts, which is supported on SAP BW for HANA and SAP BW 7.5 on SAP HANA.
Check this out. We have an exciting list of waterfall chart capabilities that are now supported on live BW and S/4HANA models. Create a single level waterfall chart using any measure. Add a second dimension. Select interim totals. Position parent totals before or after its children. Decide whether the first measure starts from the baseline or aggregated on top of last total. Hide or show the root node. Select whether the breakdown values will represent delta or actual values.
Add some more color to your charts with this new option to select and create waterfall color schemes that have 4 color members. Colors can represent increases, decreases, totals, and intermediate totals, which can help you easily distinguish between your values.
That's it for now. For more updates, check out SAP Analytics Cloud for the latest and greatest updates. See you next time.